Yes, friend. So I'm talking about your horoscope of Mr. Modi. I mean, the Prime Minister of India today. Okay, at the moment he is the Prime Minister of India. Now, problem is that whatever I've talked about up to now. Now let me continue from there. Okay. So in the first lecture, I mean the previous one, I've just talked about that what is the time period of his, and one event I just discussed about that in 2001. I mean on 3rd October, you have seen here the first event I talked about, that in the period of major period of Venus, then Mercury, okay, Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pradindasha, Sukshodasha, Prandasha. So Prandasha, the last period or the period in the minutes you may say was of Mars. This is very important. I've just told you about that most of the important planets of a person or native in his horoscope or her horoscope is of his Lagna Lord, if it is very strong and powerful. Now in this case, the Lagna Lord or the Ascendant Lord Mars is very powerful in his own sign or in his own sign with Moon, the friendly planet. Moon is 9th Lord also. As I have already described that Moon is Destiny Lord or Bhagya Lord or 9th Lord. 9th Lord is known as, 9th house is known as Destiny House, Bhagya House. So due to luck, due to destiny, the person will get opportunities. Okay, due to luck will favor him. Even if any problem comes to him, comes to his life, as I have talked about already, that the two planets, Lagna Lord and the Moon, the 9th Lord, in this case the Moon, which is the 9th Lord, Bhagya House, and Bhagya Lord or Lagna Lord, so and Lagna Lord. These two are powerful. They are very strong planets. Then what will happen? The person will remain always with Aishwarya. His prosperity will increase day by day. That is how prosperous person will be there. Okay, this is how his every stage will be with increasing prosperity. So that is how I have already described. Now come to the point. So the second event, why I am showing that this period will be best period for his life. This is from 11/10/2020 to 11/10/2027. So the 7 years, this 7 years period of Mars period will be very beneficial for him, or the best period of his life. The reason is it is very strong planet, Lagna Lord, Ascendant Lord, which always gives a very favorable events or favorable period for the person. Now in this case, what is the one of the minor problem is that Mars is aspecting the 4th house also. So during this period, maybe mother's house is disturbed, means 4th house is disturbed minutely because it is but Jupiter is there. So Jupiter and Saturn is also very powerful. Saturn is aspecting its own house, the 4th house, okay, because 11th sign, which is known as Aquarius sign or Kumbh Rasi. Aquarius sign is aspected by Saturn. Saturn is the lord of this, from the 10th house, 7th aspect, right? So Jupiter is placed there in the 4th house. So mother's, something is disturbed in case of mother's house, okay, during this period, because during that period Mars period will be there. So whenever some problem will come out, okay, that I'll talk about later, but in this problem, this period, mother's house is some minutely disturbed, right? So that is there. Only this one event, and other events will be very favorable to him. That is the point here. Now come to next thing. That second event, as I have told you, that why this period will be very favorable to him, or best period of his life. The reason is, the second, I always talk about this because I have researched upon this a number of times. Number of horoscopes, innumerable horoscopes I have always talked about, that whenever the period of one's Ascendant Lord, if Ascendant Lord is very powerful in his own sign, exalted, whatever, if it is favorable to the horoscope, then the best period of one's life is of Ascendant Lord. In this case, Ascendant Lord is very favorable, strong, okay, aspected by or conjuncted by Moon. Moon is a friendly sign or is a friendly planet. So, and that is also destiny house, I mean Lord of destiny house, very favorable to the Lagna Lord. So Lagna Lord period will be very good period for him, or best period of his life. Now come to the point. Second event, when he took oath of Prime Minister in 2014, one of the major events, second major event of his life. First event was he replaced Mr. Keshubhai Patel as the Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2001 on 3rd October 2001. So that period was finally ending period was of Mars, means Mars was in the ending period, means Pranadasa of Mars was there. In the same period, see here that on 26th May 2014, again Mars was in the ending period, right? Mars, the 11th Lord, it has given him favorable event. So the favorable position of Mars is obvious from these two major events of his life. Okay, this is how we can just understand this. Whenever anybody's horoscope having the period of his Lagna Lord or ascendant Lord, maybe 10th Lord also, 4th Lord also, 7th Lord also, because 7th Lord is aspecting, if 7th Lord is very powerful and is aspecting the Lagna, okay, the ascendant Lord, both are friendly sign then. So number of conditions are there, but in this case this is the best period. Okay, now come to the point. So second event, and these two major events of his life, they have happened in the period of Mars. In the end, the Lagna Lord is Mars. So Mars period has given him two major events of his life. First of Chief Ministership, second is of being the Prime Minister of India. First time he took oath on 26th May 2014. So that period was of Moon, because Moon period was running from, this I have written here major periods. Venus, 20 years for Venus was running from, or range for him, the time period was from 11th October 1984 to 11th October 2004, 20 years. For 20 years from 84 to 2014, 2004, Venus period he utilized. Now in this period, or during this period, what happened? Let me just talk about what this horoscope is talking about. This horoscope is giving us that during this period he must have, okay, because Venus is 7th Lord, which is 10th from 10th. Okay, so he, in the ending period of this, he got Chief Ministership. Finally he has given, because Venus is influencing the 10th house, which is professional house of profession, house of one's profession, what profession one will adopt in his life. That house is aspected or is placed here. Venus is placed in the 10th house. Okay, and this is Sun's house. Okay, Sun is Lord of 10th house, and Sun is also at a 0 degree, but aspecting tending towards the 10th house. Okay, so Venus gave him Chief Ministership in ending period, but beginning of this period from 84 to 2004, he might have got a lot of wondering why. Because Venus is 12th Lord also. 12th Lord, the Libra sign is 12th Lord and 7th Lord. 12th Lord and 7th Lord, Venus is owning two signs, Taurus sign, second number sign or Taurus, and Libra sign, 7th sign, which is 12th house. So 12th house and 7th house, these two houses are owned by Venus. So Venus, when its period was running or reigned for him from 84 to 2004, he might have wandered, because 12th house represent the foreign visits. Okay, he might have visited number of countries. Foreign visits doesn't only mean that a person has to go for foreign country out of his own country. No, but birthplace, a person's birthplace, away from that birthplace, the person might have wandered, right? So during these 20 years of his life, he might have wandered throughout the country, maybe, because other than his own state, right? And maybe in foreign country also. I do not know how many visits during this period, 20 years of his period, he went to foreign countries. I do not know about them, but he might have gone there. This is indicated from this house, okay? Because during Venus period, he might have wandered from, because 12th house was foreign visits also. Foreign visits means a person's away from birthplace, whatever his birthplace, anybody's birthplace is there, the person might have gone out of his birthplace, maybe the whole country, India, he might have visited, okay, or traveled all over the country, or maybe the foreign country also. Foreign country mostly, okay, indicated by the 12th house. So 12th house. Secondly, 12th house is aspected by Saturn also, third aspect. Why? Because Saturn is in the 10th house. So first, second and third. The third aspect, Saturn is aspecting the third aspect to the 12th house, okay, which is Libra sign. In the Libra sign, Saturn is exalted. So Saturn has given power to the 12th house. 12th house is exalted one. Why? Because Saturn is aspecting Libra sign, and in Libra sign Saturn is exalted. So exaltation of 12th house is very much there. His visits in the foreign countries will be very fruitful, very powerful. Why? Because 12th house is exalted. Saturn is aspecting it, and Jupiter is also aspecting Jupiter by 9th aspect. Jupiter is in the 4th house, so from 4th to 10th, 7 signs, 7 places, and then 11th house is 8th place, and 9th aspect or 9th drishti, you may say, because Jupiter aspects 7th house, 9th house, and 5th house. 5th house is 8th house, right? From Jupiter. Jupiter is posited or located in 4th house. From 4th house, Jupiter is also aspecting the 12th house. So his visits will be always fruitful, or during that period also, his visits would always be or might always be very fruitful in those days, right? And during this period also, because Saturn is always aspecting this 12th house in the birth horoscope of his, Saturn is aspecting the 12th house, which is exaltation sign for Saturn. So 12th house is exalted one. What does it mean? That means that his foreign visits are many, but all those foreign visits will be fruitful, will be exalted one, very, very fruitful, very positive one, fruitful and very positive to the country, or if he is visiting for himself also, the visits will be foreign traveling of his will be very beneficial, because Jupiter is also aspecting 12th house. So Jupiter will give him benefic sign, or beneficence will be what you call created from foreign travels. That is indicated there. So during these 20 years of his period, okay, or Venus period from 1884 to 2004, he might have traveled all over the country, maybe foreign travels also he might have done during this period. Second thing, the complication. Foreign travels are always there because Saturn is always aspecting, Jupiter is also aspecting. Whenever the period of Saturn-Jupiter combination will come, and the foreign travel will indicate, and those dates can be noted down. I can just calculate them very easily. If I just calculate all the periods of this, of his from the beginning, from his birth date, that is not required here because I have taken only from Venus period. Because Anuradha Nakshatra is owned by Saturn. Okay, Saturn, why? Because Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, Mrisa, Ardra, Punvashu, Pusha, Atlesha, Magha, Purufani, Uttarfani, Hasta, Chitra, Swati, Vishakha, Anuradha. So Anuradha Nakshatra, in which the native is born, in which Mr. Modi is born, Anuradha Nakshatra is owned by Saturn. Why? Because KBS and Moon, Rahu, Chand, Mangal, Moon, Mars, Chand, Mangal and Rahu, and then Chandra, Mangal and Rahu, then Jupiter and Saturn, and then Mercury. So Saturn owns Anuradha Nakshatra. So he is born in the Nakshatra of, what do you call, Anuradha Nakshatra of Saturn, owned by Saturn. So Saturn is more influencing his life. Saturn is giving him powerful because 10th Lord, 10th occupation of Saturn is there with Venus. Jupiter is also aspecting Saturn and Venus both. So all the Kendras, are very much powerful in this case. So that means he is given. So first thing I just indicated that how Mars is powerful in his life. Okay, so Mars has given him two important events of his life. Okay, during Mars period. Okay, Mars was ending period. Whenever Mars period will come, in the beneficial sign. Here it was Venus. The Venus ending period of Mars was there. This I have check number of events of his. Whenever Mars period comes, he will get good opportunity. Okay. Now during this, that also I checked that when he inaugurated or laid the foundation of what you call Ayodhya temple, Ram temple, during that period it was moon, I think Mercury in the end. Mercury is also in the 11th lord with sun the 10th lord. So 10th lord with Mercury. So Mercury also has given him auspicious time, right? Mercury, because Mercury is with sun, and that is known as Buddha-Aditya Yoga, right? Buddha-Aditya Yoga always give good opportunity to the person. Now come to the point. The sun, very beneficial to the Lagna lord, because sun is friendly to Mars, moon is friendly to Mars, Jupiter is friendly to Mars, and Saturn and Venus both are posited in the 10th house. So they are also giving positive sign, because Saturn is aspecting the 12th house, which is exaltation sign. The foreign travels of it will be very fruitful, very exalted one, very much highlighted one, because 12th lord is exalted. Okay, so 12th sign is exalted, 12th house is exalted. Okay, 12th is representing foreign travels. Now come to the point. So these two major events showing that Mars is very beneficial. So when the Mars period will run, which is I have written down here. So Venus period for 20 years, this is for 20 years, I have noted down. Sun for 6 years, Moon for 10 years, is currently running from 11-10-2010 to 11-10-2020, means 2020, this year. It will end on 11th October, right? From 11th October, I just take 11th October, then you may say that why 11th October, so maybe middle of this 11th October. 11th October, 11-10-22, 2020 or 2022, 2027. For 7 years, Mars period will be for 7 years. Rahu period will be for 18 years, because up to 45, it will be for 18 years. Rahu period is for 18 years. Ketu period is for 7 years only, right? So total period of these 9 planets, we take 9 planets, Ketu, Rahu, Ketu also included, right? The total period is for 120 years. So this is known as Bimshotri Dasha, period. Why Bimshotri? Because Shat means 100 and Bim means 20. So 120 years of the life of the person. So during this period, 120 years of period, the circulation is there. Okay. Some say that when person dies, the next period which is left over will be utilized by him, or in the next birth. This is how Vedic astrology or Vedic people, they believed in a rebirth. Rebirth is happening, that is true. So the rebirth is there. Now come to the point. So 18 years for Rahu, he will get from 27 to 1945. After that, after Rahu, what period will be there? Guru, Jupiter for 16 years then. Jupiter's period will be from 45 to for 16 years, maybe then 61, I think, yeah, 61. 16 years if I add, it will be then 61, up to 61, 16 period. So that is how period is added up, and major period, this is major period. And within that period, we calculate, because if I calculate all these tables or timetable, that is easily done, no problem at all, because periods are known to us, we can calculate them, divide them into this months, days, hours and minutes. So Mars has given the two major opportunities of life. So I wanted to just show that how Mars is beneficial for him. Now come to the next point, that he is born in different things are there. What are those different things? I noted down here that his birthday is daytime. He was, because time of birth is 12:21 hours, afternoon period, 12:21 hours. This is daytime birth. Sunday was the day, right? Paksh was Shukul Paksha, right? So this is Shukul Paksha. Then Yoga was Vishkumbh Yoga, right? And its results are also positive, very auspicious one. Vishkumbh Yoga is there. The nakshatra is Anuradha Nakshatra, I have already talked about. Second quarter of Anuradha Nakshatra he is born. The second quarter means he might have obtained initially when he was born. He might have taken, because there are 4 quarters. So if I divide 19 years of Saturn, because Saturn is the lord of Untitled Chapter. So initially he got Saturn's period. Saturn's period for how many years it may be, because if it is a second quarter in middle or after that, so 90, after 9, if I divide 19 years into, 4 quarters, or half is 8.5 years, right? Sorry, 9.5 years. 9 to the 18, 9.5. So 9.5 years is half. So 9.5, then half of that is 4 and quarter to 4, quarter to 5. Okay, so that period, quarter to 5 and 9 and 8. So about how many years? If I just subtract 4 and quarter to 5 from 19, so about 14 years, right? About 14 and 14 years initially he got of Saturn. 14 years of Saturn he got initially. Okay, so Saturn, then after that, what are the periods here? After Saturn, because Mercury was there. After Saturn, Mercury's period you might have obtained. Okay, then Ketu, 7 years, then Venus. So these 3 periods he might have already utilized in his life. Okay, in the childhood period he got Saturn's period, because beginning was from Saturn's period. Because Amrata Nakshatra, he is born in Amrata Nakshatra second quarter. So initially he might have obtained for 14 or 15 years of period he might have taken for Saturn, right? Then Mercury's 17 years of Mercury, then Ketu 7 years, 7 and 17, right? 24, and Saturn's 15 years. So all those periods he might have already utilized in the beginning. So what periods were there, that I'm not going to talk about, because these periods can be easily talked about, because they are representing different houses. So that also I can talk about, but I'm not going to talk about that, because that is just wasting of time. I'm not going to point. Now he is born in 37th samachar. This I considered very better one. I mean, very good, very influencing event of one's life is samachar. This is very much important. I'll talk about samachara, how samachara is calculated. Samachara means there are 60 samachara our rishis have created, Vedic rishis have created, or they have calculated how samachara is calculated. They are very much influencing the life of a person. How? For samachara are, how 60 samachara are there, I've already talked about something about this, that 12 years of Jupiter and 30 years of Saturn, right? 30 years, in 30 years, Jupiter, Saturn, complete the zodiac, or 12 signs are crossed by Saturn in 30 years. Because in one sign, Saturn takes 2.5 years. 2.5 years, right? So 2.5 years per sign, so 12 signs are there, so 12 to the 24, 24 plus 6, 30. So 30 years, in 30 years, Saturn complete the zodiac, means 12 signs are crossed by Saturn. And 12 years are taken by Jupiter. 1 year, average 1 year for one sign. So in 1 year, Jupiter crosses one sign. So in 12 years, whole 12 signs are crossed, or complete zodiac is completed by, zodiac is crossed by or completed by, right, by Jupiter. So 12 years of Jupiter and 30 years of Saturn. So if I take LCM of these two, 12 and 30, so 12 and 30 LCM is 60. So in these 60 years, what are the rays of Jupiter and Saturn, conjuncting each other when Saturn and Jupiter enters in the Aries sign, first Aries sign, 0 degree Aries sign, when they enter together. After 60 years again they will come in the Aries. So in every sign, wherever the, in the horoscope of person's horoscope, the 2 planets are situated, after 60 years the same condition of the position of Jupiter and Saturn will repeat, you may say. Because, so these are the samvatsaras. How samvatsara is calculated, I'll just talk about that. So his samvatsara is 37th samvatsara. 37th samvatsara. Even names suggest that what kind of person will be, right? Sometimes, I don't know how they have given these names. The rishis have given the names of the samvatsara, and the names of samvatsara, they speak about the person's quality, the person's virtues, the person's personality, right? The personality is defined by samvatsara. So how this samvatsara defines the personality of Mr. Modi or the native year. So the samvatsara, 37 samvatsara is Shobhanakrat samvatsara. Shobhanakrat or Sobhen samvatsara or Sobhankrat samvatsara. Shobhanakrat means the person will do auspicious activities. The person's activities will be very auspicious, very good one, beneficial to the society, beneficial to all the people. This is our Sobhankrata. And Sobhankrata samvatsara, he is born 37 samvatsara. How samvatsara calculated, I'll just define here after some time. Okay, so I'll define that after some time, that how samvatsara is calculated. For example, suppose you know about your own year of birth, then in that year of birth add 57 years, because this is Bikram Samvatsara. So we have to first calculate Bikram Samvatsara. What is your Bikram Samvatsara? If your Christian era is known to you, I mean years is known to you. For example, he is born in 1950. 1950 he is born. 1950 plus 57 plus 10 years. 9 plus 1, 10 years also added up. How those 10 years are added up, I will talk about samvatsaras, and I will talk about them in the lecture series, third lecture series or maybe fourth lecture series. I will talk about them. That is, I will clarify there how 10 is added up. This 37 samvatsara, anybody can calculate or can find out that in which samvatsara a person is born. Then find the quality of that samvatsara. Read those qualities from given the Sanhitas or scriptures, astrological, scriptures written by Rishi. Vedic scriptures are written by Rishis, and in those Vedic scriptures you can find that what the qualities of that samvatsara, and those qualities are mostly obvious, clearly given in that person. So in this case, 37th samvatsara is Shobhan samvatsara, Shobhanakrit samvatsara. What is Shobhanakrit samvatsara? Let me talk about this. Shobhanakrit samvatsara is Sharvo Unnat Charu Guno Dayalu Sammas. It says Sharvo Unnat Charu Guno Dayalu Shat Karma Karta Vijayi Visheshat. I will define that in English also. Kanto Benitah Shubhadrakya Pravino Yah Shobhakrit Shobha Kradat Sara Sambhav Syat. Samvatsara Syat or Sambhav Syat means the person who is born in this samvatsara will be Sharvo Unnat Char. Now some define it as that he will have all kind of prosperity. No, he says Sarvo Unnat, all kinds of prosperity he will give to others. Sarvo Unnat is Char Guno Dayalu, and he will be all kinds of virtues. He will have virtuous person. He will be Dayalu means kind or kind-hearted person. He will be, or the person will be, and Sat Karma Karta. Now again, his acts will be very virtuous one. His acts will be very auspicious one, very fruitful one. Okay, or means very auspicious. Not any bad activity he will do in his life. Means he will not hurt others. Always do auspicious activities to others. Vijayi Visheshat, and he will be victorious in all fields of his life. Right? He will be victorious in all fields of his life. Means whatever venture he will do, in that he will be victorious. Vijayi Visheshat. Kanto Vinita. Kanto means very brilliant. He will be. Vinita means he will be very kind to others. His speaking, his speech will be very very kind. Kindful you may say, or Vinita. He will be very kind to others, or his speaking will be very positive one. Okay, will be very beneficial to others. Vinita, the person is very kind. Okay, at his speaking, right? Kindfully speaking there. Shubhadrakya Pravino, and his drashti or sight will be Shubhadrakya. His drakya means drashti here or sight. His sight will be very auspicious. Shubh, right? Good drashti. His sight will be very good to others. In this case, we are always, because Shobhan Krata means the activity of person will be very Shobh. Shobhan means very auspicious one. Okay, beneficial to others. That is